So high, can't you? Oh, yeah, we live about an hour from now.
Gonna take your picture.
I look at those videos.
They're gonna take your picture right here though.
Okay, this is Katie, up on the hill here. She's going to be taking our pictures. So everybody smile at Katie.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
You got 3, Katie.
All right.
Yep, 3. All right, we're going to have some low spots here in the ceiling. I'm going to be shining my spotlight on it. I'll say right side, left side, whichever is applicable. And I advise you all to duck whenever I tell you, because you got about 2 seconds to do it. Here we go. And here is going to be the first spot, right here. Left-hand side,
Over there.
You missed that.
Here comes another low spot on the left-hand side, a little bit lower, so duck lower.
Whoa.
High for my hand. Now we don't have to worry about ducking for a while. Thank you. Okay. Has anybody ever been in a cavern before?
Yep. No. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know that all caverns got some things in common. One is there is 3 zones. You got the light zone where the light comes in through the entrance. You got the twilight zone, has nothing to do with the Twilight movie. And you get 2 out of 3 guesses on where the dark zone is. Everybody gets that right for some reason.
Yeah.
Now, this looks like a garden here. Well, folks, it is a garden. Back during the Depression, the owner of the cavern had planted a number of gardens in here. Well, it is 60 degrees year-round, 100% humidity, and it's in the dark. What do you think is going to grow with those circumstances?
I don't know.
Mushrooms.
Oh.
Mushrooms are the only fungus that will grow in the dark. Now, he would plant button-top mushrooms, and he would harvest them, take them into the local farmer's market to sell. Now, if y'all look up, see those little things hanging down? I call them little hanging down things. Well, that's not the real name for them. The real name for them is soda straws. They're hollow. That's why we call them soda straws. Water drips down through there. Now that water is just loaded with minerals. Now, the minerals, some of them will stay up there so water drips through, and they will get longer, just like these.
I didn't think so. Yeah, you're a good chance to go back to David's drive. There's one you go on.
That's the shoulder side.
We was up there about a month ago.
column, when a stalactite meets a stalagmite, they form a column or a pillar. Well, some people like to call this a perfect column. Well, Mama raised some uglies, but she didn't raise no dumb ones. That's not a column. That is a well casing. We know when that was put in. That was put in 1941, 81 years ago. When they punched a hole through the top of the ceiling, then we had a formation start. You see those little ridges there? Those are cave curtains, just like the ones that we look back there, just above that stalagmite. Now, they are 3/4 of an inch long. Now, if it took 81 years to form 3/4 of an inch of cave curtain, how long did it take to form those? A long, long time. Now, see this formation right here where the light is? Now, we're going to go up there and want y'all to look at that formation. But where I want you to look at it is from this side over here. That's a column of cave curtains. The white on the other side is a column of rimstone. The other side of that rimstone column is the side of the cavern. Now, there is a gap between two of them. Between these two and between the wall and the rimstone. As we go by there, I want you to look between those gaps. I'll go slow. And look at that formation right there. Now, it's completely different when we go through there. So, if y'all want to take pictures, go right ahead. I'll go slow. If you say if you want, I'll stop you if you need to.
Did they know what they was drilling into this cavern when they run it? Did they know what they was drilling into this when they put that pipe in here?
They didn't know until they went 93 feet down and they punched a hole in it. Once they punched a hole in it, you know, they couldn't very well stop. Because you'd have an 8.5 inch hole. That's how the diameter of the hole. I used to work for well drilling. And so the owner of the cavern said, no, we don't know whether the cavern was that far over into the owner is a neighbor that had it drilled. We don't know if the cavern was over there or whether they made a mistake and drilled too far over this way. It doesn't really matter because they punched a hole in the ceiling.
They was probably drilling for water or something, wasn't they?
Pardon?
Probably drilling for water or something?
Yeah, they're drilling for a well.
Yeah.
They had a new house up there. And whenever they drilled, they drilled down 93 feet and they punched a hole in the ceiling. Well, the owner said, you know, you can't leave that 8.5 inch hole there. Somebody 8.5 inches in diameter will fall right down the hole. I will not have that problem. And I'm not going to say anything about anybody else. Now, so they said, go ahead and drill down and finish your well. Now, the casing was not there then. They were drilling. They don't put the casing in until after the drilling is done. Now, they hit water 50 feet down below there, and then they put the well casing in 1941.
Did they
They
get
hit
water
water
through
about
that?
50 feet farther.
Okay, pretty neat.
50 feet
And now the well is dry. Yes, sir.
50 feet underneath here?
Yeah, 50 feet from here, they hit water. But it's dry now because it was springtime then. There was a lot of water. It was an underground river down there. And I'm going to show you that up here why the well went dry. All right. Yeah, in case you're wondering, this green stuff is algae. Whenever you have 100% humidity and lights, you're going to get algae. We periodically treat them to keep the algae down, and we turn the lights on and off as we go out. Otherwise, the algae would take over the cavern. Look at that, how much is thrown up on that one. So we have to turn the lights off and on, and they treat it to try to prevent it taking over the cavern. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to have a light show, and we're going to talk about how the cavern was discovered. In 1862 it was discovered. We're going to talk about how it was discovered. Look in here. not even know he had a cavern. Him and his dog Juno was hunting. And Juno jumped up a critter and chased it into a hole in the hillside. I'm going to show you that hole a little later. Now, when he got in there, Juno didn't come out. Because Juno was in what you call total darkness. You have two places on earth that you have total darkness. That's the bottom of the ocean and in a cavern. Now, if y'all shut your phones down or turn them over where it's not shining.
Never expect all this right there.
Pretty good ways down.
I apologize to these brakes. They're damp and they ain't got warmed up yet. Y'all stand up, no problem. We have explored up here for 1 mile. Half a mile this way, half a mile back. We're going to be going back a different way. Now this is the bottom of the cavern here. We're 36 feet above the bottom. This was explored for a little over 3 miles. We had some explorers go through here. They had to crawl on their bellies for an hour and a half because they went through a hole 18.5 inch in diameter by 30 inches wide. I mean, 18.5 inches high, but 30 inches wide. They had to crawl for an hour and a half before they got to a bigger hole, bigger room, and it was they called it paradise because they finally got to stand up. Now, the only way to get to paradise is get on your belly and cross. Now, I'm not going to wait for y'all either. Yeah. This riverbed here is a wet weather underground river. And that's why the well went dry. Yeah. When the water comes in here, when it's wet, it's called wet weather because it's wet outside, it gets wet down here. We get the water for here through sinkholes. We got a number of them around the airport, and we're right near the airport here. Then we got one about a mile from here. It's a big one, and you'll all see a picture of it up here. Yeah, whenever we get a lot of rain and it fills up those sinkholes, this starts filling up. Yeah, it's pretty cool when we got water in there. It just looks like a little brook, babbling brook we read about in grade school. Well, it gets a little deeper. 3 months ago, water got up to here. Oh, yeah. Now, that's 20 feet of water. Now, where that big stalagmite was that we didn't know how old was, there's a little underground river runs in there, runs under that stage. And we went through there, and there was 2 feet of water when the water was up to here. Now, they made us drive slow, which really went against everything I believed in, because I wanted to hit that hard. And they said, well, you'll get the guess wet, they'll all dry. So, but they said, don't do it. So I didn't. Yeah, well, I sure wanted to. That's not deep as it's been. See this line right here? It's been up to there. That's the bottom of the bridge, folks. That's a lot of water. That's still not deep as it's been. In 2019, I believe it's on Memorial Day, the water came over top of this rail.
Oh yeah.
We had approximately 40 to 45 feet of water. Yeah, that's a lot of water. Now, as the water goes down through here, it comes out at a wet weather spring called Indian Spring. And then that runs into the Little Sac River. Now, when the water is up here and it's going out through the spring, you get up to 9,000 gallons of water per minute. That's a lot. That's a shower and a half. I mean, it only takes about a second to get a shower that way. Now, when the water was over here, it took 6 days for the water to go down to where we could have tours. I wanted boat tours, but we ain't got no boats, so we had to wait until it got done. Water got down, we took a Jeep tour. Besides, I don't look that good in a swimming suit. Now, we're going to go up here. We're going to watch a drive-in movie. How long been since you've been to a drive-in movie, folks?
Oh,
Well, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go up here and we're going to watch a movie. It takes about 5 minutes, and it's all about the cavern. And it's very interesting. Okay, we all ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Okay, here we go.
Been a long time ago.
Yep.
Okay, we're 125 feet below the surface. Cavern continues on for another 150 feet. Go slow so you can get pictures. Now, there's a big old rock on the right-hand side.
Yep.
Yep, there that filler is. There's an underground river right below us here. It's dry
I think a trailer breaks on here.
Yeah, I hear
Okay, this is called the auditorium. Largest cavern in the room.
it. Yeah.
Big light. Okay, 1862, John Knox discovered the cavern, but he covered it up because he didn't want nobody to know about it. He didn't want nobody to know about it because it's during the Civil War. During the Civil War, the government could take anything they wanted by martial law. Now, they specifically wanted caves because caves have got bats in them. Well, we've got bats here, about the size of your thumb. Wingspan about 4 to 8 inches. They're 3 colors, so we call them tricolor bats. They look like a fuzzy flying chicken McNugget. They're little bitty. We only got 15 to 30 of them, so you're not going to see them. They're mostly out in the woods doing whatever bats do out in the woods. If you see a fuzzy flying chicken McNugget, that's one of our bats. So, yeah, so they wouldn't took cave because of the bats, but they would for the storage and the drying. Now, what they would do with large colonies of bats, you've got large piles of guano underneath it. Well, what they would do is they'd take that guano and dirt, because it's fertilized too, and then put it in a leaching bin or hopper. Now, they'd fill that up with the guano, and then pour water over it. Now, we don't really have any guano in there, it's fun. Now, they did this because guano is full of potassium nitrate. Water coming through here would dissolve that potassium nitrate. It is water soluble. And so you'd wind up with a kind of a muddy, sludgy mass, but it was rich in potassium nitrates and calcium. So they'd dump that water in a big vat. Then they'd come over here and they'd flip this switch. Now, once they got that going, they'd take and shovel all the ashes out from underneath there, called pot ash or wood ash. They'd put it in that big vat and they'd stir it all up and keep boiling until the water boiled away. Once the water boiled away, it became saltpeter, white substance called saltpeter. Now, saltpeter, when you mix it with sulfur and carbon or charcoal, you get gunpowder. Yeah, black powder. So let's all connect this together. If you got the most caves, you got the most guano. If you got the most guano, you got the most gunpowder. If you got the most gunpowder, if people can shoot straight, then you're going to win. Well, that's why caves were so vitally important during the Civil War. Because they didn't have Walmarts or Kmart's or Bass Pro, nothing like that. They had to make everything themselves. So, caves were very important. Bats were very important. Bat poop was even more important. Yeah. Back in 1920 to 1933, they had a thing called Prohibition. Prohibition made alcohol illegal. You couldn't buy it, sell it, drink it, bathe in it, smoke it. Couldn't do nothing with it. Well, you don't tell a country boy, a hillbilly, a redneck, or whatever, that he can't do something. Because the first thing he's going to do is say, hold my beer and you watch this. And they make moonshine. Have you ever tasted moonshine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad prohibition's over. Yeah. They'd make all that stuff, the moonshine, beer, bathtub gin. They brought them out here to fantastic caverns and opened a speakeasy. Speakeasy is an illegal bar. You spoke easy about it because you didn't want nobody to know about it. Well, that's kind of like spitting into the wind, because everybody knew about it anyway. The law overlooked it, because the law drank as much as they did. They'd go home, take the uniform off, they'd come out here and they'd party just like everybody else. And finally they had to shut it down. Well, we're going to go up here and we're going to look at a place called a breakdown.